Also check and be sure that the aspirant has already paid the non-refundable nomination fee of 20 million Uganda shillings. He must also have attached the required photographs, which, when successful, will feature on the ballot paper. He also indicated before he leaves here that he has appointed an agent, an official agent, who will become the point of liaison as the process proceeds. The Presidential Elections Act states that somebody can contest for the seat of president either representing a political party or sponsored by a political party, or they can come as independents. In the case of a candidate or aspirant representing a political party, the symbol they will use is the symbol of their political party. For the independents, before they leave, if they have been and when they have been successfully nominated, they will leave with a symbol allocated to them by the Electoral Commission. So briefly, that is what is happening, and that is what is required, and so we wait to hear from the examination and verification of those.
About having employment for our youth. The reason why we have unemployment is because we are, instead of putting money in productive sectors, we are putting in unproductive sectors. Our government will make sure money is put in productive sectors to generate jobs. The youth, I want to assure you, under my government, you are going to get jobs. And this is why we even start and said every graduate who is going to leave, the day on your graduation, you will go with 1 million shillings to go and start life. That shows it is possible. I have heard President Museveni saying that within now 2 years, he's going to provide them some money. What happened 40 years down the road? You never saw that graduates are suffering. It is important that you have a leader who will keep his word, who will move this country forward. I come here without any hatred. No hatred. We want to thank President Museveni has done what he could for 40 years. It's time for him to be a senior citizen, our advisor to us. Let him rest. We don't want him to die because of stress of work. Here are young men now, Nandara, coming to do that for him. And I can tell you, I am the best candidate for this election. I'm calling people of Uganda to support me with that fear of favor. I want you to support me. I am the best you have. This is the best menu you have. I ask all parties to support me. I ask NRM to support me. And I can tell you, nobody will be witch-hunted. No. We say thank you. And I repeat, we are going to build bridges where there are not, repair where there are no bridges. Finally, on this leg, we have decided to make our rally at a place called Kampala Road in Butabika. That place is in a slum area. We did it intentionally to tell the people of Uganda that we are aware of your problem. And we are coming there to show you that this problem where you are is what we are coming to solve. It's not that we can also go to a better place like Nachivubo, but we are coming where that rally is to tell you that we are part of that problem and it's time to solve it. And that's why our rally is in Butabika, in a place where people are disadvantaged. And that's why I ask people, you say you want to protect our gains. You want to protect gains of poverty? You want to protect gains of people suffering, or what? The gains should not be for a few, it should be for the entire country. And nobody made an application to God to be born in Uganda. All of us found ourselves here. And that's why we say, I want you to go to a hospital, whether in Kisoro or Koboko or Zombo, get equal treatment. That's why we want all regional hospitals now to become referral hospitals instead of having one referral hospital. That's why I'm saying we don't want to do medical tourism where people go to South Africa, go to India, go to Dubai, go to America, to UK for treatment. And those who go are either members of parliament, ministers, or those who can catch the eye of a president. I want you to go to Mbale Hospital and get what you would get in India. I want you to go to a Royal Hospital to get what you would get in Turkey. And this is why we come in, that my grandmother in Zombo, my mother in Kavale, my father in Busia, when he cannot see the eye of a president, should go anywhere and get treatment than looking for favors from those in power. I plead and tell you that this is possible. I can assure the school will be made better and everybody will need education. And you can see Electoral Commission was checking my papers to confirm if I have gone to school. There are people who have not gone to school, not because they don't not like, but because they have not had capacity to do it. We need equal education. We need equal health. We need infrastructure which work for all of us. We need our elders to be taken care of. We need houses for civil servants, like medical facilities. You will call Mulago Hospital, where there's a building where used to be CML. Those were quarters for junior doctors. I want to ask you a question. Supposing a mother is in Mulago Hospital, going to deliver, and now he must be having a cesarean, be operated on. Our doctor stays in Mukono, who is supposed to work. By the time he comes, will the woman be there? The woman will be dead. Those are things which we say misplacement of planning in this country. I have technical people whom I put ahead. I will respect all the workers, the civil servants, the teachers. There's no teacher who should not be paid equally, whether you did math, or you did chemistry, or you did physics, or you did English, you are the same. We need all these teachers. Mathematics is never taught in Lugiso or Uganda. Mathematics is taught in English. And that means you need a teacher of English so that you are able to understand the math in English. So why would you disadvantage a teacher of English? All this will be resolved and this country will move together. Anyone who decides dividing people like that means is dividing the country. This country is disunited. I come here to reconcile it, to unify it, so that when you go to Guru, you go to Kisoro, you go anywhere, you are treated as a Ugandan, all of you loving each other. So I come as a reconciler, and I am the one who brings unity in this country. I want elders to be taken care of. I can assure you the elders, you will have homes, you will have a monthly salary. I will not add just age, so that you say few can get. I will make sure each and everyone is treated equally. Uganda belongs to all of us. One Uganda, one people.
Thank you very much, candidate Mafabi Nathan, the FDC flag bearer. I'm going to invite a few questions for the candidate, and I'd love to have two gentlemen and two ladies first. Okay, if the two, any ladies, please. Okay, as they prepare themselves, please mention your name, the media house, and please stick to the theme of today. Thank you so much.
William Muranga from Beg Media, stroke Beg TV. Honorable Nandala Mafabi, now Excellency to be. You say Your Excellency. Your Excellency to be. You have previously worked with the World Bank before we saw you in politics in Uganda. Uganda keeps on borrowing from the G7. What will be your position when you become president? Because our borrowing is too much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
You can answer. Yes, you can answer.
If you have gone to borrow, it means you will pay back and you pay with interest. So Uganda borrows because it has very little to manage their budget. So we have been borrowing to fill the gap of the budget, the deficit. Currently, the figures are beyond 50%. 50% of our GDP. So that means every year we are borrowing 50% of our budget goes to service debt. Goes to service what? Debt. I'm just assuming now at 50. 10 trillion is stolen. 7 trillion is in public administration. At the end, you find that the money which remains, which goes for service delivery, is about 10%. This is a big cost to this country. The reason our country is not moving forward is basically because of borrowing and the mismanagement of public resources. So as a president of your country, if you give me the power, number one is to reduce debt. And the debt can be reduced in the following manner. Currently, we have a narrow tax base. And this narrow tax base are the very few people whom we charge every day. And some of you, of course, you are part of the narrow tax base. If you go to buy soap, you pay tax, it's VAT. If you go to buy sugar, you pay tax at VAT 18%. So in short, instead of buying a kilo of sugar, you buy a quarter because you cannot afford because of tax. And because of that, it costs this country that people don't get enough to live on. So number one is to increase the tax base, to ensure everybody is in the tax bracket, and pay little. At the end it will be more, and you will service the debt, current debt, and don't go to borrow money for non-productive sectors. Money should be for only productive sectors. And this, if done, within 1 year, this country will change. You recall, in 1997, we told HIPIC, all our debt was written off. If this country was serious, by now would be in surplus budget. Instead, every year, we're running a deficit budget. I can assure you, if you block losses, if you block mismanagement, if you reduce on public administration, I can tell you we shall reduce debt, and at the end, within less than 3 years, would be in surplus. And the people of Uganda will be living a better life. That's why we say, have money in your pocket. How will you have it? If instead of spending 10,000 to buy one item, I'll spend 10,000 to buy many items, because the money will have value and there will be lower cost of goods and services.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. To be Jethro Kasaiji, I work with UBC. About governance and leadership, how do you intend to practically actually empower institutions of accountability, that is IGG, Auditor General, but also Parliament, to fight corruption? Thank you.
I think you know that I'm good at that. You are aware of the Chairman Park, where we heard the untouchables to become accountable. I am very good. We have the best laws in this country for Auditor General's office, for IGG, for CID, mention it. The only thing is lack of will to support them. Because if the Auditor General produced a report that this such and such resources are missing, and you, the executive, does not implement it, it shows you are demoralizing an institution. If IGG produces a report and you don't work on it, you are demoralizing the institution. And also you must give them resources to do work. It does not mean that you have a dog, you are not feeding, and you assume it will look after you. It will look after the neighbor who is feeding it. So it is important that these institutions have laws, be facilitated, do work, and whatever they produce, act on it. And you need a man like Nandala to act on such, not the current president, because he has no capacity. Even now, public administration. Let me give an example, parliament. Our parliament is too big. Too big. We have created many districts, and whenever you create a district, you have a member of parliament who is a woman. You'll have LOC5 and a local government. Why did we create them? Because of lack of service delivery. People were thinking if they create this, they'll have this. Parliament needs to be reduced. I can tell you this is one of the topics some people don't want to hear. I and my team will make amendments to ensure that districts are represented by 2 people only. 1 directly elected member of parliament and 1 for women who represent for purposes of gender sensitive. That's why I have my wife here. For over 30 years we have been together because I'm gender sensitive.
I congratulate you, Mr. Nandala, on your nomination. So I'm grateful. I have 3 questions. Question number 1, we have leaders with mask. People put on a mask.
I'm not one of those.
Let me finish. Number 2, we are tired of deception. They speak as if they are going to do miracles to us. They don't do it. Thirdly, we have a paradox of Africa, having everything and have nothing. You can't have everything and have nothing. How are you willing to change that? That rhetoric that the world has talked, that they have everything and have nothing. Number 4, how are we going to remove money from politics, which is a cancer and a pain?
Thank you very much. Let me give you one of the experiences which we have seen in this country. We have the best reports, but implementing them is not there. And many countries, including Rwanda, has got our reports and implemented them. That have been a success story. Now, what is the reason? We can write well, but we cannot do work. Now you have brought a servant who can work. I can tell you, here is a servant you can rely on. I'll do what you are asking me. Removing money from politics is very important. You end up voting money instead of voting a leader. I am begging the people of Uganda, this election, kindly change attitude. You vote leaders, don't vote money. Because when you vote money, a person will tell you, I bought you. I want to ask you, of course that's why we wanted to amend the Elections Act of Presidential and Parliamentary, that the president should step aside so that this election could be free and fair. Currently, the current government, cannot differentiate it from NRM and the government. They are infused together. And now when a president gets money to give an entity, he's giving it as a president and claiming it as an NRM. So these are things we must deal with. Now, money in politics, it's high time. Don't follow it. In any case, if somebody gave you money you never asked, if it's from NRM, that's your public resource, eat it. But vote leaders like Nandala so that you can have better leaders for tomorrow. And I can assure you, if you vote a leader who is good like Nandala, he will do everything for you, and the money they paid you in 1 year, you will get it. In fact, they give you safe. Let me give an example, 10,000 shillings. Nandala is saying he's bringing 100 million in your village. So that means every villager might get maybe 5 million. Why do you leave 5 million to go for 10,000? And the 100 million is from your state coffers. While the one who gave you 10 from state coffers has left the balance. These are things you should think about. Even when you're electing your leaders at low level, don't go for money. Go for leaders and you'll be safe. And this one, of course, we need to make a law to deal with voter bribery in an election. The other one, that we are deceitful, there are people who are deceitful, they have a mask, and I am not there. I don't have a mask. I am a man we see. What I'm speaking is what comes from my heart. What I work, I can do it. And you know, whatever I've been given an assignment, ask colleagues I've been with in civil service, I've been with in the World International Market, World Bank in international world. Ask Ibugisu, I am a worker. If you give me an assignment, I do it. If you give me a bull, it will produce 10 cows at once. If you give me a stone, it will produce water. Give me an opportunity and I'll be there. I think those are the questions.
Okay. First and foremost, congratulations, Honorable Nandala Mafabi, upon being duly nominated. My name is Tracy Kansema. I work with NBS Television, and mine is about the building bridges, fixing those that have been broken. Your party itself is no stranger to factions, and whereas we've seen cooperation agreements, memorandum of understandings with the other members of various political parties, yours seems to be under your leadership and that of the Honorable Patrick Boya Moriat. It seems not to be the case. My question is, what are those strategies, concrete proof that you will be working to remedy, even within your political parties, those that have left and are yet to return? Because I think previously you said, let them go. And so I wonder if that tone or that rhetoric has changed, given the fact that now you're talking about building bridges and fixing those that are broken. Where do you start? Thank you.
Thank you so much. In 2001, I came to Parliament. We were in one-party system, which was called NRM. In 2004, we formed a party called the Forum for Democratic Change. I have been there since day one. I have never left. So that shows you I'm a consistent person. I was a Deputy Treasurer General of the party. In 2012, Dr. Besigye left the party, so they had to look for leadership. I contested with General Muntu and my younger brother Ekanya. I lost with 32 votes. I never left the party. And if you want to know, you could have tested, I would have left at that time because I knew I'd done well. I can't bring our internal issues here. In 2017, Poa, my big brother Poa, stood with General Muntu. General Muntu was a sitting president of the party. Poa beat General Muntu with over 300 village votes. Recall, during the campaign of 2012, they were calling me a villager, which I like. 2017, they called Poa a villager. So the villager beat a town person. Now, when he won that election, General Muntu decided to leave, to go and form a party called ANT. I'm hearing unfortunate stories about it, that they cannot even go to villages and get whatever they are supposed to get. But that's not a big story. So General Muntu went. In 2021, we went to an election. You remember it was COVID time. It was not an election. My party president who stood, Power, whom I have respect for, whom I must thank for saving us, he calls it a military operation. We lost. I hope this time there is no military operation. We're here for this election. So that clearly shows which man I have been, consistent. I have never run away. And in 2016, we supported Dr. Besigye. Now, there are colleagues in their lives. They are either leaders or no, they don't want to be led. Unfortunately, that's what happened. And that's why when you see some of them running away, that is the reasoning. They don't want to be led. They want to be the only ones at the helm. Unfortunately, where they have even gone to lead, they have become, I don't want to mention. Look, for example, let me give an example of PPF, which you are talking about recently. You know my brother Lukwago is the president. My brother Semuju is the Secretary General, mobilizer, spokesperson, mentioned it, he has more than 4 portfolios. When they wanted to put a candidate, none of them came up. They wanted to remain road mayors, they wanted to be members of what? Parliament. That means for them they are more comfortable to be at the helm, but not to show what it is. I was waiting forward to see Lukwago standing as a presidential candidate. I'm here, he's crying here to be a road mayor. And in fact, I want to ask people of Kampala, such leaders don't trust. They can be very dangerous to our country. But in that context, that applies also to my brother Semoji, whom I thought would be. Now, so they went wanting power, and they have got it, but they have failed to execute what they are supposed to do. That means if we had given them leadership, FDC would not have had a presidential candidate. Are you getting us? They would not have had a presidential candidate. If they were going to have, they would have demonstrated with PPF they have. So all those stated and said, we are not bad. Those who went with them, some of them were misled. But we want to ask our colleagues, come back. Come back, come back. We need to move forward. The journey to the struggle for our liberation is a long journey. Of course, others will reach, others will drop off, but others will join. I asked more to join. I want also more to come and support us, even from other parties. So the bridges I'm building, everybody is free to come with us. And that's why I call on everybody in Uganda to support me. Under the bridge, I will work for everybody. Ask anybody, wherever I've worked, if I've ever been sectarian, I have ever been tribalistic, I've ever been anything of that. When I was the leader of opposition, my driver was from West. My bodyguard was from Acholi. Are you getting this? When I was in my offices, when I worked in finance, my secretary were from West Nile. They are what? That's me. Even today they have given me guards. Akelo, Omoding. Huh? I would have asked to give me these ones. I'm not that category. So this is the only nationalist you have. And I can tell you, I am ready to build the bridges. And those which are spoiled, I will repair.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Nzetera kaya nkola ne Bukedde TV ne Bukedde Fama. Honorable akalulu kano ke muzeemu. Bemuvuganya nabo aba NRM. Balinayo munaddala mu local government. Abantu be bayisaawo unopposed. Nga kitegeeza FDC teyasobola kusimbayo muntu. Ekyokulabirako district ye Sembabule yayisaawo chairperson wa LC5. Naye ng'ate amaanyi g'ebibiina gatandikira ddala eno wansi. Nga mulina ebitundu gye mutalina wadde abeesimbyewo. Akalulu mugenda kafeffetta mutya era musuubirayo obuwagizi?
Nziremu mu Luganda oba mu Luzungu? Webale. Sembabule nayo muganda wange bamuyita Ssekikubo Theodora. Waki wa NRM. Bwe yesimbawo mu primaries ndowooza abantu bafa. Abantu bakola ki? Bafa. Ebiriyo ebitundu ndowooza emundu yefuga. Ekyo kyonna okugamba nti ensi eno tulina okujja emundu mu byobulonzi. Bwe tugenda okuteekawo abakulembeze baffe tujjewo emundu. Sembabule tulinayo abantu b'ebibiina nga FDC bangi naye batya kukola ki? Okufa. Kyoba olaba bagamba kabagende. Ekintu kyolina sure wadde mugenda ojja kutuuka ekiseera ojja kufa. At least that's a sure deal. You will die. But why should you kill somebody because of what? A vote. So ebyo ebitundu biliyo abantu baffe babatiisa buli kaseera. Kyoba olaba twagala tusaba electoral commission ekomeo etuyambe ekole voter education buli mu kitundu. Olaba twagenda ekotido naffe ne tubeerayo ne bakansala baffe bayita unopposed oba okimanyi. Naye ebiseera ebyo nga tebabakkiriza okuyitawo kuba ffennyini twaliyo. Ekyo kikulaga naffe duwe ebitundu bye tuyise ani unopposed. Lwaki oleese Sembabule n'otagambako ebitundu ebirala? Naffe waliwo abantu baffe naye ffe tetukozesa ki? Mundu. Theodora bakozesa mundu ndowooza omanyi byavaamu luvannyuma. Akaba wa FDC neda wa NRM. Twagala kusaba NRM edde mu nkola ekole ebintu bulungi.
Thank you, Honorable. My name is Aloysius Byamukama. I am from Mama FM, which is a women-focused radio station. I have seen your position on agriculture, and now on climate change. We have seen a lot of changes, including the agricultural habits reducing totally. We have seen waters actually coming to settlements where people are. We have seen mountains in this country becoming so bare, a lot of sunshine, a lot of changes. Let me know your stand on this question about your climate change plan.
First of all, climate change is my main interest. Maybe if you want to know, by masters, My dissertation was on environmental. And I even said that unless we settle climate change, we're going to have disasters in this country. It's one of the themes at international level. So we must have financing in the environment to ensure that we deal with this environment. But who are destroying the environment is the developed countries. And we must deal with them. Either they pay for it or not. But also, by the time they do it, what are we doing as Uganda in our country? We have cut forests. We have cleared swamps. That's why you see silting of the roads and the land. If you go to Nakao when it has rained, that place used to be a swamp. Now water floods. There's a lake over there when it rains, and it has taken people. That is us ourselves. If we are doing it, what solution did we put? Mitigation solutions. So on environment, I want to tell you that I and my government, if you give me authority, will be our priority to ensure we have a better environment for our country. So we'll invest in it, we'll educate people about it, and when you invest in environment, you're improving the health of the people, you're improving agriculture. Let me give you an example. When we breathe out carbon dioxide. What you breathe in is oxygen. And oxygen is produced by plants like trees. So if you cut trees and you breathe out oxygen, there will be nothing to absorb that carbon dioxide. That in the end, you will breathe in the same carbon dioxide, which is dangerous. And that's why you see there's a lot of diseases caused because of such things. So we need to make our country green so that we are able to have healthy bodies and also to ensure that agriculture also thrives. I can tell you, you're talking to a student and a practitioner of environment. In the global market, of course, you are aware, under COP, I am one of the members on the finance committee on environment. And whenever I'm there, I am advocating for it. This year it will be in Brazil. Unfortunately, I will be in the campaign. I will not make it, but since you are good, I might nominate you to represent me.
Thank you, candidate Nandala Mafabi of FDC. I am Farida Rule, the Executive Director of Ushahidi Foundation Uganda, and I am observing this process. I have 3 questions. One, what is your plan for the shrinking space for the civil society organizations currently in Uganda? 2, this I'm going to use Luganda. Nchimanyi mulungi nti oli muntu wa byanava oli mu economics mulungi. Tax policy yo egenda kubeera etya? Tax policy eriwo kati saawa zino ekusanyusa oba tekusanyusa? Let me give you one example. Nze bwe mafunye omusaala bwe gutropinga ku account yange nina okusasula pay as you earn nesasula NSSF. Bwe zivaako ne zigenda n'engenda okuziggyako nyina omusolo omulala gw'ensasula. Bwe ngenda mu supermarket ogulira abaana bange ebyokulya nyina omusolo omulala gw'ensasula. Bwe ngenda mu katale nyina omusolo omulala gw'ensasula. Kwegamba gavumenti eri kunyunyuuta abantu abatono ennyo nti be bali okufujjirira n'olaba nti omukyala atunda amenvu kapito we wa $200 naye nga still government emulilayingako okubeera nga asasula omusolo. Kakati gwe nga candidate otegese otya okulaba nti okozesa ebyo? Tulina amafuta, tulina gold, tulina so many resources. Otegese otya? What is your plan okulaba nti nno government tenyunyuuta abantu ffe abawansi okuba nti nno tugirabirira kubanga we tutuuse tulina development. Ekyokusatu, embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 using owalaba abantu abamu omukyala yafiirwa omugulu nga security ekoseza amaanyi mangi n'omukyala omulala yafiirwa omwana we. Kakati nga gwe nga tonaba kwenyigira mu kalulu oteeseteese etya okulaba nti embeera eyaliwo mu 2021 tesobola kubeerawo mu 2026? Osobola okuba nti ogenda kuteeseganya otya n'omukulembeze w'eggwanga aliwo kati okulaba nti embeera eyo tebeerawo?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Can I answer this because I may forget?
Okay.
The last one, he was asking security. Mbere chitugenda kujikola ndoze chekibuzo cha electoral commission. Ine kulabeta elections zibera free and what? Fair. Naye tulina okwogeranga abasimbyewo tulabe nti security tegenda ekola ebintu ebitali bituufu. Era tusaba security organization, tusaba electoral commission, tusaba president wa Uganda naye candidate alabe nti elections zino zibeera free and fair. Kijja kumuyamba for credibility purposes. Tax base gyogambye fena tugimanyi. Ndowooza oyogedde ku muntu amanyi bintu bya tax base, an expert internationally. Bw'obeera ne tax base entono ojja omusolo mu bantu batono ate oyagala by'okukozesa bingi. Ky'oba olaba olina okukola tax base n'ebeera ennene omusolo ne gubeera muki mutono. Ebimu by'osabye by'ombuulidde payers yo ani eyo ekituufu musolo naye NSSF si musolo. Ezo savings zo bw'onaatuuka emyaka 5 mu 5 ojja kugenda mu NSSF bazikuwe ne interest. Ezo tezogerako, ezo zizo ziterese zifuna ne interest. Naye zogambye payers yo ani kikulaga nti bakulekerako okusooka baita threshold. Kati bwe zilinya waggulu noba kujjako musolo nga osasula nga bw'okola nga bw'ofuna pay as you osasula nga bw'ofuna. So the higher bw'ofuna nyingi na osasulako akantu kanyi. Naye complaint yo yandibadde nti sente zange zino zensasula zikola mulimo ki? Kyo kyekizibu kuba ezisinga bazikola zibba, bazikola ebintu ebitagasa mu kifo ky'okukoma mu economy, zikola emirimu ezo ziyambye abantu, ziyambe economy ekule, so that economy bwekula omusolo nagwo gukola ki? Gukula. Naye okukosa bubi economy tekula ate bweshrinkinga abantu abatono be bajjako ki? Omusolo. Nga bw'oyogedde buli muntu asasula musolo buli agenda mu supermarket. Neze no government musolo bwe gunabeera mutono no productive sector yeyongere tugenda kola nti sente zo zebayita disposable income. Disposable income is income oba omaze byonna ebeera mu makono go okukozesa ejja kuba nyingi lw'ensonga nti bwe sector bwe zikola bulungi sente zibeera nyingi, abantu babeera ne disposable income nyingi. Mufa ky'okugula hafu kiro ya sukaali ojja kugulanga kiro 2 n'embeera yo nayo ebeera ennungi. Ekyo kiraga nti nawe base yeeyongera kuba kati omusolo gw'ogenda okusasula ogenda kusasula ku kiro 2 mu kifo kya kusasula ku hafu kiro kubanga eyo naye bagiyita widening the tax base. Bw'ogula ebintu bingi omusolo gubeera mungi naye gubeera wadde mutonotono naye ebintu bingi zibeera nyingi okusinga okugula hafu kiro omusolo gubeera at high rate naye nga musolo muki mutono. So productive sector zenko ogugambyeko zigenda kweyongera. Kati gw'ofuna olaba threshold entono kubanga abantu bebandifujja mu musaala ne bajjako omusolo singa babadde bangi okifuna payers ani yandibadde wansi naye kasita muli batono aba earning income kyoba olaba payers ani ebeera waggulu. Ekyo kitugenda kukirwanisa tukole economy abantu babeere n'emirimu ab'emirimu babeera bangi tubajjako omusolo nagwo muki mungi. Kyogambye nti civil society is your right kiri mu constitution article 28-29 freedom of association, freedom of speech. This the president should bank on who will ensure the freedom of speech, freedom of association. The public must speak, the media must speak. And I want to tell you that constitution was a good constitution. And I want to state one of the items which shall be on our agenda. Number 1 is to reinstate term limit of a president, to cut powers of a president. Those are the things you must do. A president must be a worker, not a boss. Mama mbuliza bisatu. Nibizemu.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, as you deserve to be called. I'm Julius Mugaga Tukachungura, and I write for an online paper called Umoja Standard. I come in the line of policies. We know agriculture is the backbone of Uganda, and for any country to grow, it must focus on, not a major focus, but usually industrialization is a key factor. So what are your policies in as regards to agricultural industrialization, it being a backbone of Uganda? And secondly, there's a growing economy called the digital economy. You didn't mention it. So as an economist, what are some of the policies you are going to employ to see that our digital economy grows and benefits Uganda? Thank you so much.
Those two I'm going to, but I think I forgot one item on this lady. She said when she goes in the bank, she gets money less. Those are bank charges. Those are bank charges. So if they are high, we shall deal with them. One of the things is that the interest rates in this country are too high. We need interest rates to be low so that people can borrow money to invest. You know, when the people don't borrow money to invest, the economy collapses. Let me give a quick sample because I've remembered what the lady asked. If I went to borrow money to put up a maize mill, I borrowed 10 million, it will be better that the interest rate is lower so that I can run that maize mill, to be able to have the one who deals with maize, to produce maize to bring, to make sure that the people are in the maize mill to work, to make sure that people get food, to make sure there's animal feed, because as a byproduct of maize, you will get animal feed. But if the interest is high, I will not borrow. So the people I would have killed, those who deal in animal feed, those who would be employed in the maize mill, those who produce maize. This is where we're saying we should invest in a very productive sector. And that's one of the areas that we must have our businesses working, surviving, by having a deliberate effort to deal with local investors. Local investors must be given money at a cheaper rate by government, not giving it to foreigners. We cannot make our country for foreigners, because foreigners, when they make profit, they externalize it. But when a Ugandan makes money, it stays here. That's why one of the burden here is that foreigners who are here are making money and taking it out. But if you give money to the locals to invest here, it will go a longer way to build the economy. I think that's what you, Madam, you wanted also. Maybe that's why you came back. Agriculture is the backbone of this country, and I want to thank God He gave Uganda the best climate. Anything can grow, and that's what I told you. So how do we industrialize? Of course, we must have value addition. We must have cooperatives, which I started with. Cooperatives will help farmers to have their produce taken to the cooperative society, to have their produce processed. Like maize, we should be having a Nescafe machine here to produce coffee. You can take an example. Recently, I'm not against, my colleague was given a factory in Intungam. Now, Intungam can have a factory for coffee, which has very little coffee, but you cannot leave Mount Elgon, which has the best coffee, to not have a factory. In fact, that factory should have started in Mount Elgon side, and there's an entity like which cooperative, which government, if it was a Senate government, to have cooperated with, so that the coffee would be now they want to do. So we make our priorities wrongly, and that's why we get. So we must have industrialization, have industries to process agriculture, which is called agro-processing, so that we have value. Now, we need to have banks. We need to have an agricultural bank to deal with agriculture, because there's a lot of loss, because nobody wants to lend money to an agriculture sector because of the depends on weather. We need to have a cooperative bank, which is even now again in the law, but has not been done. The cooperative bank to help cooperatives to operate. In this agriculture bank to help the process from growing the from the farmer up to the process of agro-processing. And even marketing. We need to improve on marketing. The best person who should lead marketing of Uganda product should be the government. If I give you an example of coffee being on a New York board, no farmer can move to New York. But the person who can go to New York is the government to ensure that we have that. So I can assure you, if you read our manifesto, which was done by people of FDC, it clearly talks about how we're going to industrialize agriculture sector. Well, you talked about digital. Right now, internet is cheap all over, but in Uganda, internet is very expensive. We need to make data cheaper, because now transactions are easily done online. Why should data be very expensive? Many countries now, if you walk on the streets of their town, even in the villages, there is internet. Why should somebody spend money on the internet when there is free internet? And the internet will assist you. Of course, it helps on WhatsApp, and of course, whatever social media, it can do it, but it also can do business, transacting and whatever. Currently, many countries are doing, let me give an example, America and the UK are doing, okay, in my area of accounts, they are going to India to get professionals in India to do accounts for them. So they use this internet to do accounts, they send the accounts to UK, they are paid a check. Our boys and girls, those are the jobs they would be doing, but because they don't have those facilities, and of course you are talking to a man who also has some digital knowledge, I'll make sure that Dicto is at lower cost, affordable, and everybody must access it. My study in Makerere, all of you know, in our year we used to do what we call computer science, where there was a mainframe. Those who know Lotus, 1, 2, 3, those who know WordPerfect, I was one of the young programmers. I still have ideas. Even if I become a president, I'll do programming for you so that you enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I'm told.
Candidate
So I finished all your questions. Now I want to ask all of you, the media people, be my campaign managers. Tell the whole world that the best candidate is Nandala Mafabi. I want to ask people of Uganda again that I'm your candidate. I'm a candidate who has no hate, who has no hatred, who comes to build bridges, who loves every Ugandan. I am one of those whom we should trust. Above all, I am a God-fearing person. I love God, I love my God. I have been married with my wife, Flora Nandala, the woman, for 32 years. And we have no plans of leaving each other. And we want... I came here with my bishop. I want to introduce my bishop and his wife, Bishop Patrick Giroud, and Mama. Thank you for escorting me. Of course, all those people are people of FDC. I want to introduce my brother Jack Sabit, who has been my mentor from civil service up to now. I want to introduce my brother Poa, whom I've known for over 30 years. We live together. I want to talk about my sister, Margaret. Thank you for being there for me in all those dungeons. Colleagues, I am so grateful. I can tell you I have a friend of mine I met in Parliament in 2001. He's called Chwanda Godfrey. Mama Tata Sovi. That was my brother until he crossed and abandoned me. But I'm asking you as the chairman of NSF, please join me. I want to thank my nephew for joining this meeting. This is my nephew, Dr. Slanda, from Secretary General. They have given me a microphone. This is my opportunity. I have my brother Joab from Masindi. Thank you so much for joining me. I have my big brother Mukalada. Thank you for chairing FDC up to now. I have my brother Wante. Thank you for always being there. Wante, when they sacked me from Mwiri, you looked after me. I have my brother Olanya from Acholand. Thank you for joining. Oh yeah. I have my elder sister who is Madam President, Madam Jessica Modoa. That's the one who puts food on my table. I have my sister Franca. Okay. My sister, thank you for joining me. I have my nominator and my sister from another mother. Kabugo, my sister, the MP for Kasese. My sister, thank you for being there for me. I have my brother Fungaro Caps. It is great you are with me. I have my younger brother, Geoffrey Kanya. Thank you for being there. I have my brother, Konyogo, my spokesperson. Thank you very much. I have my daughter who is contesting in Buyukwe, called Namwanga. I may fail to introduce everybody, but all of you, thank you for coming. I'm so grateful. I have my bodyguard. He's here. Number 64718. This is my bodyguard. Thank you very much for bodyguarding me. I want to thank the translators. It was great seeing you. The media, elamba noi. Mwanya lalugali, wela beni nanye.
Thank you so much, candidates and Nandala Mafabi. I now hand you.
Candidate Nandala Mafabi, after addressing the media, which is part of the organization of the event, because after being duly nominated by the Electoral Commission, then you handed over your security car with a team of security personnel to give you 24/7 protection. And thereafter, you go and address the media. He talked of a number of issues that he's going to be handling. And of course, we know for FDC, among all the contestants so far, they have their manifesto. It was launched So it is already known. You can just pick interest and go into that. It seems to a certain extent to be so good to be true. And I know Ugandans could have picked out a number of things. He explained a number of things, but I'm not alone. I have Adope Francis, who is the National Youth Leader, Forum for Democratic Change. Now, still, we are seeing him. He's going to be moving out of the venue and heading to Kasoko, so that is in Butabika, where he's going to be addressing his first rally as a presidential candidate. But remember, campaigns are not officially opened. Campaigns will officially kick off on the 29th of this very month, and they will run to the 12th of January this very month. Now, as of now, you're just having that first rally after nomination. But also the good news is that also the Alliance for National Transformation president of Agbera in this race, retired General Mugisha Muntu, will also be nominated today. He has fulfilled the requirement of the signatures and has been issued with a certificate that yes, he has been able to avail at least 100 signatures in a minimum of 100 signatures in 98 districts, making a 2/3 of the districts in Uganda. Now, coming back to the gentleman I have in studios, beginning with that from the FDC, your president, your party president, has talked about unifying, building bridges. Now, when we look at this race, 2026, one of the things that comes out properly is, much as you have NRM as a competitor in 2026, it also seems more as opposition competing against opposition. You know, you'll hear many
Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, okay, okay.
With that, now we should declare the official opening nomination exercise for candidates.
You are closing them. You are closing. You are coming this side.
We may take our seats, please.
In full compliance with the traffic regulations and laws governing public service. I want to reiterate, no processions are permitted on public roads. Take people who have the right also to use those facilities as they go about their daily activities. I want to appeal to all aspirants to their support in an atmosphere and environment of peace and stability. Fourthly, upon conclusion of the nomination exercise, the Commission will meet all candidates or their agents from the 25th to 27th of September 2025 for the purpose of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on the 29th of September and run until the 12th of January 2026. The Commission therefore calls on all participants, agents, or participants, all the requirements as stipulated in the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Byabakama Mugenzi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Museveni Yoweri Tuhabuwa Kaguta a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179.
Done smoothly. We are very proud about our network across the country, and we believe that that same network that was able to bring back the performance in time without any hitches is going to progress with the
After such a long time, you know, when you begin eating things and then you abandon what a great honor. Tell.
Stevie, and also you.
This time you have to have your shoes on. No, I have without shoes, no harassment. The shoes have to be on.
Let him accept to lose vulnerable. When loss comes, is when it comes. Yes.
That's democracy.
Yes, but not holding their hands behind and thinking you are in a competition.
You are coming in.
The Electoral Commission is delaying us. So you come to observe. No, he's the chairman. The members of your
and this time I'm very happy that all the candidates are coming and they don't have to. Yes, because even yesterday my village always comes in.
Okay.
Now we should declare the official opening nomination exercise for candidates.
You are closing them. You are closing. You are coming inside.
We may take our seats, please.
In full compliance with the protocol and laws governing the public service. Want to reiterate, no processions are permitted on public roads. Take people who have the right also to use those facilities as they go about their daily activities. Want to appeal to all aspirants their support in an atmosphere and environment of peace and stability. Fourthly, upon conclusion of the nomination exercise, the Commission will meet all candidates or their agents from the 25th to 27th of September 2025 for the purpose of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on the 29th of September and run until the 12th of January 2026. The Commission therefore calls on all participants, agents, or participants, all the requirements are stipulated in the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Pianokama Mugenji Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Museveni Yoweri Kaguta Kaguta a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179.
Done smoothly. We are very proud about our network across the country, and we believe that that same network that was able to bring back the polls in time without any hitches is going to progress with the
After such a long time, when you begin eating things and then you abandon what a great honor. Tell Stevie, and also you. This time you have to have your shoes on. No, I have mine without shoes, no harassment. The shoes have to be on.
Let him accept laws vulnerable. When laws comes, he's going to come. Yes.
That's the
yes. But not holding people, holding their hands behind and thinking you are in a competition.
You are coming in
The legal commission is dealing us. So you come to observe. No, he's a chairman. Members of your forum.
And this time I'm very happy that all the candidates are coming and they don't have independence. Yes, because even yesterday my video always comes in.
Okay.
Now we should declare the official opening nomination exercise for candidates.
You are closing them. You are closing. You are coming inside.
We may take our seats, please.
In full compliance with the party regulations and laws governing tobacco sales. Want to reiterate, no processions are permitted on public roads. Take people who have the right also to use those facilities as they go about their daily activities. Want to appeal to all aspirants, yes, and in an atmosphere and environment of peace and stability. Fourthly, upon conclusion of the nomination exercise, the Commission will meet all candidates or their agents from the 25th to 27th of September 2025 for the purpose of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on the 29th of September and run until the 12th of January 2026. The Commission therefore calls on all participants, agents, all the requirements as stipulated in the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Bianakama Mugenzi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Museveni Yoweri Tuhabuwa Kaguta a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179.
Done smoothly. We're very proud about our network across the country, and we believe that that same network that was able to bring back the phones in time without any hitches is going to progress with the After such a long time, you know, when you've been eating things and then you abandon your... What a great honor. Tell you. Stevie, and also you.
This time you have to have your shoes on.
No, I have mine without shoes, no harassment.
The shoes have to be on.
Let him accept to lose honorably. When loss comes his way. Yes.
That's the
Yes. But not holding people, holding their hands behind and thinking you are in a competition.
You are coming in again.
The Lego Commission is delaying us. So you come to observe. No, he's a chairman. The members of your forum.
And this time I'm very happy that all the candidates are coming and they don't have independence. Yes, because even yesterday my village always comes in.
Okay.
Now we should declare the official opening nomination exercise for candidates.
You are closing them. You are closing. You are coming inside.
We may take our seats, please.
In full compliance with the party regulations and laws governing ourselves. Want to reiterate, no processions are permitted on public roads. Take people who have the right also to use those facilities as they go about their daily activities. Want to achieve co-aspirants, their support in an atmosphere and environment of peace and stability. Fourthly, upon conclusion of the nomination exercise, the Commission will meet all candidates or their agents from the 25th to 27th of September 2025 for the purpose of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on the 29th of September and run until the 12th of January 2026. The Commission therefore calls on all participants, agents, all the requirements are stipulated in the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Byalakama Mugenyi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Museveni Yoweri Tuhabuwa Kaguta a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179.
Done smoothly. We are very proud about our network across the country, and we believe that that same network that was able to bring back the phones in time without any issues is going to progress with After such a long time, when you begin eating things and then you abandon what a great honor. Tell. Steve, and also you.
This time you have to have your shoes on.
No, I have mine without shoes, no harassment.
The shoes have to be on.
Let him accept to lose vulnerability. When loss comes his way. Yes.
That's the democracy.
Yes. But not holding people, holding their hands behind and thinking you are in a competition.
You are coming in
The Electoral Commission is delaying us. So you come to observe. No, he's the chairman. Members of your forum.
And this time I'm very happy that all the candidates are coming and they don't have independence. Yes, because even yesterday my video always comes in.
Okay.
Now we should declare the official opening nomination exercise for candidates.
You are closing them. You are closing. You are coming inside.
We may take our seats, please.
In full compliance with the protocol regulations and laws.
Don't block others.
Want to reiterate, no processions are permitted on public roads. Take people who have the right also to use those facilities as they go about their daily activities. Want to appeal to all aspirants yes, in an atmosphere and environment of peace and stability. Fourthly, upon conclusion of the nomination exercise, the Commission will meet all candidates or their agents from the 25th to 27th of September 2025 for the purpose of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on the 29th of September and run until 12th January 2026. The Commission therefore calls on all participants, agents, or participants. All the requirements are stipulated in the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Bianakama Mugenzi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Museveni Yoweri Tuhabuwa Kaguta a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179.
Done smoothly. We are very proud about our network from one side, and we believe that that same network that was able to bring back the phones in time without any issues is going to progress with the
Yes. After such a long time, you know, when you begin eating things and then you abandon your what a great honor. Tell. Steve, and also you. This time you have to have your shoes on. No, I have go without shoes, no harassment. The shoes have to be on. Let him accept rules honorably. When loss comes his way, yes, that's the yes, but not holding people, holding their hands behind and thinking you are in a competition. You are coming in the Labour Commission is delaying us. So you come to observe. No, he's the chairman. Members of your forum. And this time I'm very happy that all the candidates are coming and they don't have independence. Yes, because even yesterday my village always comes in.
Okay.
Now we should declare your official opening nomination exercise for candidates.
You are closing them. You are closing. You are coming inside.
We may take our seats, please.
In full compliance with the Public Regulations and laws governing public service. One to reiterate, no processions are permitted on public roads. Take people who have the right also to use those facilities as they go about their daily activities. Want to appeal to all aspirants, yes, and in an atmosphere and environment of peace and stability. Fourthly, upon conclusion of the nomination exercise, the Commission will meet all candidates or their agents from the 25th to 27th of September 2025 for the purpose of harmonizing their campaign programs, after which candidates' campaigns will commence on the 29th of September and run until 20th January 2026. The Commission therefore calls on all participants, agents, or participants, all the requirements as stipulated in the Presidential Elections Act. Therefore, I, Justice Bianakama Mugenzi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Museveni Yoweri Tuhabuwa Kaguta a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179.
Done smoothly. We are very proud about our network across the country, and we believe that that same network that was able to bring back the phones in time without any hitches is going to progress with
to your question before we went to General Mugisha Muntu is the time period enough? Now, the time period can be enough basing on the infrastructure, security, and the economy. You understand? In the situation where a 75-kilometer road can actually make you reach a destination in 3 hours.
Unfortunately, I have to end this session with you here. I just want to thank you so very much. That is Ismail Kiria and also Dr. Francis. Thank you so much for your time. Now, General Mugisha Muntu, we see the commissioners of the Electoral Commission getting ready to look through his documents. Will be leaving the waiting tent, and now, of course, the seconders and all that. It's a process that is going to kick off. After then, if he has really fulfilled all the procedures, all the requirements, then he will be nominated as a presidential candidate. And, of course, that will be candidate 2 of day 2 and the final day of presidential nominations. Now, allow me go straight to the proposed site for the headquarters where the nomination exercise is taking place in Lubowa. Over to them.
Lead the next aspirant. Protocol team, please lead the next aspirant to the commission. The protocol team should lead the next aspirant to the commission. The interviews by media and media people. May I request media people to The media team, you'll have a chance to speak to the aspirant if and when you've been advised. Lord Chairperson of the Commission and Commissioners, the person walking in is aspirant Mugisha Muntu. The person walking in is aspirant Mugisha Muntu, accompanied by the people invited to accompany him as required and provided for in the law. We welcome you, aspirant Mugisha Muntu, and your delegation, and the teams of protocol will lead you to your seats. Lord Chair, I now would like to take the honor of inviting you to receive your guests. Thank you.
Our distinguished guests, we are now ready to receive the next aspirant, whom, as informed, has joined us. I would therefore like to welcome you and your entourage and invite you or your agent to present your papers. Is your nominator and seconder here? Nominator and seconder, can they stand up? Okay, you can bring the papers.
To let the people who are watching, so you know what is happening. This is what the chairperson of the commission stated in his statement about this process, that when an aspirant comes here, they are required to show proof of the various requirements in the law relating to nominations of presidential aspirants or presidential candidates. And so what you are seeing on the invitation of the chairperson of the commission to the table is for the aspirant to present the requirements for nomination. And those requirements, the commission has now instructed the technical team to check them one by one. Those requirements include a fully completed nomination form that is filled in triplicate. It also includes required in the law, which is a minimum of A level or senior 6. So they will be checking those papers to confirm that the aspirant went to school. The technical teams who are checking these particulars are from a cross-section of professionals from the commission, from the legal department. There are lawyers there from the voter data management department, from election management, from field operations, and others. we thank members of the press for keeping the country, keeping the citizens of Uganda fully abreast with what is happening here. On EC ground, Electoral Commission grounds in Rweza, Rubowa. Those who may have just joined and following, the place here where we are, where the commission is the place where the headquarters of the Electoral Commission are going to be established, and already we have seized, the commission has seized these grounds. It's the first time the nomination of presidential candidates is happening, taking place on a permanently owned grounds of your Electoral Commission. So from now onwards, going forward, this is these are the grounds where the presidents of Uganda will be nominated from, starting with these ones of the 2025-26 general election. Previously, this exercise would take place in different places. But everyone who has come here so far, since the exercise of nominations started yesterday, says this is the best place. Some have actually wanted to stay here. But the commission informs them that the nomination is over, then you can proceed. So these are your grounds. These are the grounds of the people of Uganda.
Our distinguished guests, we've been verifying the papers of the aspirant, and we are satisfied he has met the criteria spelled out under the Presidential Elections Act. Accordingly, I, Justice Byabakama Mugenyi Simon, being the returning officer for the nomination of presidential candidates, declare Mugisha Gregory Muntu Oyera a duly nominated candidate in respect of the presidential elections 2026, he having fulfilled the nomination requirements under the Presidential Elections Act, Chapter 179, Laws of Uganda. You are now a candidate, Mr. Mugisha Muntu. May I now request your agent to come and pick the nomination paper for your signature, confirming that you are now duly nominated. Either you sign or your agent can sign, whichever you choose. Agent, come and pick this. Thank you. You can go. As a duly nominated candidate, you are required to observe or implement the following. 1, you are to appoint an official agent who will coordinate your campaign meetings and media program, and also attend meetings on your behalf where necessary. Secondly, you are to avail the Commission with the schedule of your campaign meetings and media program as soon as practicable to facilitate the smooth harmonization of all the candidates' campaign programs countrywide. And thirdly, you have to sign a memorandum of understanding with the Electoral Commission on compliance with the harmonized campaign program, timelines, and the guidelines. Congratulations, candidate Mugisha Muntu Gregory Muntoyera. There are two more functions you have to perform. First of all, as a commission under the law, we are required to avail you a soft copy of the voters' register, which we have now. Your agent can come and pick it as well. It is here. The law also commands us to avail you security, 24-hour round security, at home, on the road, and anywhere. For that matter, we are going to hand over to you your security vehicle, together with your security personnel or detail. Thereafter, you are at liberty to address the press and the country, if you wish. Can we now go and hand over your vehicle to you, Mr. Candidate?
You'll wait, the commission will lead you. Candidate Mugisha Muntu, the commission is going to lead you to your security detail and vehicle. And after that, the center for the press, for briefing the press, is just near where the vehicle will be available to you.
Okay, good afternoon. It's just 10 minutes past 1, and we are still talking matters concerning presidential nominations for the general elections of 2026. And this is day 2. Yes, and what is going on? What you see on your screen is the flag bearer, who is Honorable Mugisha Muntu, who has been duly nominated and certified by the Electoral Commission, as announced by the Lord Chairman for the EC, who is Justice Simon Biavakama. What you had just witnessed is him being handed to his security detail, which is inclusive of a driver and then also an escort and a car. And these, by the way, the costs are met by the Electoral Commission, inclusive of his security detail. Further, is security provided to him at his home and wherever he goes, unless he goes out of the country, that the security will not be provided or will not be applicable. So what we are going to just have a look at is him addressing the media.
Communications you are doing for the benefit of the citizens all over the country. I also take this opportunity to thank God for enabling us to get the nominations which we've just had a few minutes back. We've gone through some hurdles, but that is now water under the bridge. We are now candidates. Myself and all colleagues and supporters of the party that is Alliance for National Transformation. Let me also take this opportunity to thank the supporters all over the country who gave us signatures. You know, we've done 3 rounds. Even when the first round there were questions, second round within a day, we got another 60 districts. The last round, they were asking for 10. We got 16 districts. And the beauty of it all was that we weren't getting these signatures just from members of the party, but also from many other Ugandans who belong even to other parties, but who have come to recognize Alliance for National Transformation as a party that is focused on building institutions or rebuilding them because they've been broken down. They have recognized Alliance for National Transformation as a party that believes in the building of systems that deliver services, systems that enable the country to function. And we are glad, because in 2021, we participated. Our participation then was to sow seeds. I would like to believe, if it's the will of God, that this time around is going to be a time of harvest. "63 years of independence, even for human beings. At 63, you've gone through quite a number of stages. You came from a baby, a toddler, and then you start walking and running, and you go through teenagers, and then you become middle-aged, you become old. You do a number of things through that whole process. A country at 63 should not be operating as if we are still in teenagers. We are stuck, been stuck in a vicious cycle, 63 years. Saying things is easy. And as we do as politicians, all over the world, by the way, one thing we do is just say things. The biggest challenge that I notice, and I believe many people notice, is the inconsistency between what we say and what we do. Because every time when there is conflict between theory and practice, there is bound to be conflict. You don't see it only here in this country, you see it in the region, you see it on this continent, you even now see it in a number of other countries globally. We have a problem.
There's absolutely no reason why a country like Uganda, well endowed in terms of fertile soils, in terms of the wealth that we have underground, gold, copper, tin, bauxite. Now we've even got rare earth minerals. That a country like this, you could still find poverty anywhere in this part of the country. Freshwater bodies, River Nile, which runs from the source of the Nile until where it exits. Until where it exits, near Nimle, along that whole patch, you don't find any commercial agriculture or irrigation is used other than the big plantations of sugar in ginger. That's a reflection of the ineptness or sheer irresponsibility on the part of the political class in this country. Because when I talk about this, I'm not only talking about the current regime. We only had hope, those of us went the bush to fight for 5 years. And we took power. And we condemned all things that had happened before. And we believed that there was a cutoff point that we were going to redirect politics and the management of the economy of this country into a new direction. Unfortunately, that has not come to be. And here again, we are in this very mess with a country that is literally broken. Institutions compromised, systems broken down, and worst case, the population itself has been brought down to its knees. General Museveni was here. I think he has been nominated as a candidate. I think for the 7th time. I keep hearing him talk about moving to middle income. It's not about middle income. It's not about GDP. It's not about all nature of things. However much any economy anywhere on this planet grows, if a population to whom that economy is supposed to serve is broken, then you wonder, where is your focus? Because we have seen countries that have got roads better than we have. More kilometers of tarmac roads, more capacity in terms of power generation and distribution, better cities, water systems that supply all citizens in the country, better educational systems, stronger armies, but they all broke down. You can check them out. They are there. Libya is the best example here on this continent. Country like Zimbabwe, Ivory Coast in West Africa. When you focus on the things which are seen by the eye, and you don't focus on how to develop the people to whom these things are supposed to serve, you're focusing on the wrong direction. And that's why I would like to ask the Ugandan people to retire General Museveni this time around in a peaceful way, because he cannot take this country any further beyond where we are now. Every moment he stays in office, the country is going to get deeper and deeper into problems. Why so? Because if you have got citizens who have reached a point to ask for money, even when they are going to put a signature on nomination of a candidate who is supposed to go and help them get out of their problems, you know there's a problem in that country. When you see a ruling party, because the party is the one which runs government, in a stretch of 3 months in which they were conducting their primaries, which culminated into Kololo, where they stripped themselves naked in broad daylight, and it showed who they are. In Kololo. Unless the population is blind, unless the population, if our citizens are willful captives, then they can continue with General Museveni and NRM, because Kololo would have been enough for the country to retire that group in power. Because in Kololo, they were electing SEC. SEC is the Central Executive Committee of the ruling party. And people were being bought like you buy goats in a market. An extension of General Museveni and NRM by the citizenry, if the citizenry chooses to do so, it's just you are being led by goats. There is evidence. Anybody can go and check it out. It was done in broad daylight. There were 300 plus petitions all over the country in the primaries of NRM. We all want a better future. I have no doubt about that. I know that there is a deep desire within our people to have a better future, where systems function, where if anybody cheats you, maybe takes your land, even if you don't have money, that you can access investigative capacities of a police, that nobody would ask you for a bribe, that nobody would intimidate you, whether they have money, whether they're in power, and that you can go to the courts of law, and that the DPP's office can also carry out prosecutions in a transparent way, so that a citizen would feel secure in the knowledge that the law protects them. That's not there. That's not there. Right now, anybody who has money or is in a position where he can have soldiers who are with it, that's what they call impunity. That's the impunity that caused the coup in '71 when the first Obote regime was removed. That's the impunity that caused the thrashing of the regime in '79. Same impunity that caused the second fall of the UPC regime. Rutwa only took 6 months, so there wasn't even enough time, I think, for him to do anything. So we took power, and we thought that would be the end of impunity. Now it has been reorganized in a more systematic way. One thing I can get my cap off for General Museveni: he has deliberately, consciously, persistently done what he has always desired in his heart. So I take off my cap for him. He has broken our people. In such a sophisticated way that even those who are broken are still running around him. That's what the country is. We offer ourselves as a solution to that mess. First, we don't look at infrastructure as the primary factor. We don't look at roads, we don't look at bridges, we don't look at power generation and distribution. We don't look at health services, we don't look at educational institutions. We don't look at rail. We look first and foremost as the primary factor of the development process, the human being, the citizen. Because there's nothing that can contradict the logic that the human resource factor is the central core to any development process. So even when we look at education, quality education, quality healthcare services, agriculture for purpose of food security and nutrition, as facilitating factors to that core, the human being, the citizen, the human resource capacity. Because when you concentrate on that human being, you educate them well, you skill them, you ensure that they are healthy, that they are well fed. The sky is the limit. There is nothing they will not do. Even getting to the moon, they would get there. Because those who have gone there are not any better than we are. That's going to be our focus. And we are going to be launching our manifesto in a couple of days. But I'm bringing out the most salient factor. General Museveni keeps talking about peace. But all these things that are happening is because of peace. He's confused a bit because we have digressing. Our understanding of peace is at variance. He thinks peace is law and order. Peace is not the absence of war, as I heard him talking about it 2 days ago. Peace is the presence of justice. If you got injustices in a country and you don't have
Sorry about that. I hope you are back on air. Let's say something and let's use this one.
Amendments do we have? It looks that we don't have adequate time. I think as we go to our headquarters where we're going to move from here, and when we launch our manifesto in a couple of days, we'll exhaust what we are talking about. But as I conclude, peace is not the absence of war. Peace is the presence of justice. You can have an army, you can have intelligence services, you can have police as we do have them, as we've had them even in the past. As many African countries has had them. But when there is no justice, eventually you will find that you have been building on quicksand. We intend to build sustainable peace in this country because we want to focus on justice. So there is a rock firm foundation on the basis of which our people can go around doing their own things. Not caring whether you have an uncle in government, a mother who knows someone in government, or even when you don't have money, you don't have a cousin, you don't have an aunt to call in case you find yourselves in a problem. No. There must be justice for all. And at this point, I would like to call upon the government. Please, today you are in power. Tomorrow you won't. deal with those who are not with you in a manner in which you would want them to deal with you when you are out there and they are in there. That's simple logic. Dr. Kano Chiza Besje has been incarcerated beyond the mandatory bail period. 188 days passed. A period within which, if they had any investigations, and they were saying they should have proceeded with the case, they have not. So I'd like to ask the Ugandan people, most of them who seem to hide all the time, if a prominent political leader, a war veteran, an officer of NRA, UPDF, that is done to him, what about you? Most of whom don't even have the capability to pick a phone and talk to anybody who can even come to your assistance. We must build systems where everybody is below the law, including the president of the country. Government should act. If they have gotten evidence, they should proceed with the case. Dr. Chizabeze should be in his home, enjoying his freedom. It's not only Dr. Chizabeze, there are many young people of NUP who are in prisons. If you have cases, proceed, go, take them to court and argue your case, not to incarcerate them in the prisons without trial. Or pass a law, and then we know. But to masquerade behind the law as you manipulate it is one of the most dangerous things that we can have. We saw it happen in the 60s, it failed. 70s, it failed. 80s, it failed. Even now, it will fail. Let me conclude, and maybe 3 questions, and then we give space for other colleagues who are going to be coming.
Thank you, Candidate Mugisha Muntu. Members of the press, we already have another aspirant walking in already, and we'll take 2 questions from you. And yeah, please. So 2 questions, please.
Thank you, Candidate Mugisha Muntu. My name is William Ranga from Beg Media, Beg Television. The defense budget in Uganda takes the lion's share. Yeah. You are a former army commander of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, and now you are retired. Yeah. What is going to be your position on defense spending in your next government? Thank you so much.
When you build peace within the region, where you don't expect attacks, and you coordinate effort with other countries around the region, to have coordinated effort in neutralizing insurgents and international terrorists, you reduce your defense budget logically. And then you rechannel the resources that you get from defense budget. You put them in the social services sector. That's what we believe in. And 2, if you are not repressive, but I also believe in a strong army, I believe in strong intelligence services, I believe in strong police services, well motivated, professional, and also well catered for. But at the same time, when you don't have repression, the repressive machinery, you don't have any danger of having internal rebellion. Most times the rebellion erupts internally. 2 factors. 1, because of internal mismanagement. But also times when it is generated from the outside. But when you have a well-trained force and you have got a population which is backing you, I can tell you nobody can ever defeat you from the outside, ever. Defeat comes when there is an attack from outside and you are weak internally. I see these, they know all that, those who are in power. But greed blinds, because they are not looking at anything but money, which they are bowing to, which unfortunately they have caused the rest of the country to bow to. Those who pray, pray. This country is on its knees.
Yes, we have the next question. Please, a quick one.
Congratulations, President Mugisha. I want to thank you for reaching here. As a Christian and as a general, I want to inform you that Uganda is under siege. I repeat, I want to ask you as a general and as a Christian.
Ask her here.
Planning through priorities, Uganda is under siege. Which tools as the Christian and the general are you going to employ to get out of Uganda for this mess?
In every dark situation, in any society, however dark a situation may seem, there are always remnants. There are people out there in the country who are resilient, who want to see a better country. And those are the ones whom we reach out to. Because the leadership is a critical factor. A country will go up or go down around leadership, the nature of it. That's why to us, the main concentration is focused on how do we get men and women of integrity into Alliance for National Transformation to become the dominant factor. Because we know for sure that the moment we take power, which I believe by God's grace we will, that's when the main struggle starts. There are many people who think that the ousting of Museveni is the main struggle. No. That's a secondary one. The primary one is how do we sort out this mess and lift the livelihoods of the people? How will you do that? Unless you have got deep people who are different in thinking and also in how they act. But if we get the same kind of thinking as we've had since 1962, people who are either driven by pomp and glory or money or like I've seen the whole lot, even when there's physical change, tomorrow General Museveni definitely will get out, one way or another. You can already see it's so self-evident. And then you go in. And then the thinking is no different, which means the actions will be similar. We digress from that. Even if we are to stand alone, that's the path on which we walk. I keep telling people, even me, Muntu, even if I never become a president of this country, if I can build or help collaborating with people who think alike together, and we build a machine in terms of a political vehicle that can transform this country, I will go to heaven as happy as if I would have become a president. We concentrate on building. We concentrate on organizing. So we call upon the remnants in this country. Wherever you are, don't keep quiet. If you want a better future, we are here. We are a solution. And by God's grace, I believe at some point, wherever that is going to be, whether it is next month, whether it is in May, wherever it is, we will take power in this country, and I can guarantee you, people will know how power can be managed different from how it has been managed hitherto. We are disciplined, we are consistent, we are values driven. That's who we are. May God bless you all.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Candidate Mugisha Muntu. Protocol team, please, can we assist the candidate and listen to arrange?
Yes, Candidate Gregory Mugisha Muntu.
Protocol team, we assist the candidate to exit and this team, and then the support to the processing of the next aspirant who is now accessing the venue. Thank you.
That was retired General Gregory Mugisha Muntu, the flag bearer for the Alliance for National Transformation. Yes, he has just met the media and made his remarks. Someone said those were really powerful. He was so assertive, I must say. But for those of you who have never heard him speak, that is the tone he always uses. Right now, as you see on your screen, he is being showed his security detail. He's inspecting the vehicle that he's going to be given to help him traverse through the country as he is campaigning. Just to remind you a little, from 25th to 27th. That is the period that the Electoral Commission has catalogued to have the campaigns harmonized. And the general campaigns will officially start on the 29th of September 2025. Yes, in a bit of a flash, we'll be letting you know and showing you how the National Unity Platform, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, the principal, has arrived also at the Electoral Commission proposed headquarters in Lubowa, that is Makindye Sabagabo. He is yet to be duly nominated and also be certified by the Electoral Commission as per the Elections Act. And yes, happening also at the EC offices, that is in industrial area, I have been reliably informed that over 20 presidential aspirants have, okay, let's go to Jethro.
Platform. I've seen the Secretary General, that is Louis Rubongoya. He has actually come in, and that is actually a signal that shows that the NUP aspirant will be actually getting in right now or a few minutes from now. I'm seeing David Louis Rubongoya, who is the Secretary General. I think he has actually come on time to see how best he has actually, the candidate is not yet here. He is actually moving straight to the tent. I think there is something that we need to follow and find out what is the matter, because the security is actually heavy. They have actually beefed up more security in this particular time. Louis Rubongoya has entered the tent where actually the commission members had.
The nominator, can you stand up please? Nantumbwe Jen is here. Nominator. Seconder, Jago Fred, the seconder. All right. You can remain seated. Okay.
To the people who may be joining this occasion for the first time, here and online, we are at the EC grounds in Lubowa, Weza, in Makindye Sabagabo. And this place is the first permanent home for the headquarters of the Electoral Commission in Uganda. And going forward, this is going to be the venue, the place where presidential candidates are nominated, and the set for this 2025, your commission, this is your Electoral Commission. And so those who are watching online and following on TV and other platforms, the commission, so that's what the commission has asked the teams here that are from the legal department of the commission, the voter data management, the aspirant was informed to bring, as they submit their nomination papers, the nomination form filled in triplicate, 3 copies, a declaration of consent that the aspirant consents to being nominated, confirming that the aspirant is a registered voter, is a citizen of Uganda by birth, and confirming, as the Commission said, as required by the law, that the aspirant has got the minimum academic qualifications. So they're checking to confirm that the aspirant went to school. They're also confirming and checking those other particulars. The certificate indicating that the aspirant obtained the required numbers of supporters as required by the law. That the aspirant has paid the required nomination fee of 20 million shillings. 20 million shillings